Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the Love Chapters Earth open call. Brought to you by the founder of Love Chapters Earth, Trinity Clark, and her Love Earth team. You are about to hear information that will transform your life and the lives of those in your family and communities. Love Chapters is an ecclesiastical non-registered church body that operates through its offices as a corporation sole. It is not a 501c3. This distinction gives Love Chapters the ability to create its own constitution and bylaws to govern the officers of Love Chapters, ensuring that the vision and goal of Love Chapters is accomplished without outside influences. Here's the founder and overseer of Love Chapters Earth, Trinity Clark.
Thank you, Maestro Rick. I am ready to rocky and roll. Okay, roll with the call because Love Chapters rocks. Okay, the date is August 12, 2014. It is 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Alaska, and 3 p.m. in Hawaii. To mute and unmute yourself in the case of background noise, press star 6. I get a little tongue-tied there. I am now monitoring Facebook in the Love Chapters Earth USA group room and will take typed questions via PM to Trinity Clark, myself. We may open the call queue to questions and answers and give instructions at that time. We have a lot of territory to cover tonight, and so I'm going to open the call with prayer. Heavenly Father, I ask your blessings to be placed on each person attending this call and that will listen to this call. I ask that you place the purpose of Love Chapters gently on their hearts for their eyes to see and their mind to embrace. I ask strength and endurance for those that join us in this journey of love and discernment against the darkness that strives to swallow the light and prevent Love Chapters from becoming a community beacon. I am thankful of your vision of Love Chapters lent to me for my time here. I am thankful for each and every person you see at Love's table. Amen. Okay, so getting down to business, as I said, we have a lot to cover. The first thing is the dress up, dress down, the uniform, ununiform. Okay, the first point is when we speak of uniforms, it sometimes gives the resemblance to people of Boy or Girl Scout uniforms or even the air of military, and that has never been our intent. Across the Republic are many seasonal changes, and our intent to brand it is our intent to brand Love Chapters, but not in a noxious way. Okay, we have two very distinct settings in which the branding should speak loud and clear, dress up and dress down. Our patches are for dress up only, and each state is responsible to choose from a dress shirt, maybe a blouse, a polo shirt, or a vest, and in a color that appeals to them, not the Love Earth USA office. For shirts, the Love Earth patch always goes on the left upper arm and the state patch on the right upper arm with the Love Earth People Helping People patch on the left upper chest along with your chapter pin and associated star if you have one. Of course, there are 17 states starting with that. Obviously, if you will use a vest, then the patches need to go on the left and right vest pocket area with the Love Earth People Helping People patch and chapter pin on the upper left chest. Each state can opt for a variety as they deem. A state could even opt for suit jackets, but to me, that is excessive uniformity. If your state leaders choose two types of dress-up standards, such as both a polo shirt and a vest, then you'll need 2 sets of patches. Each set costs about $10 for the 3 patches. The pins have not been, second point, sorry about that. The pins have not been ordered yet, but will say your name and your chapter association, such as you are a region or a community or the state office or an auxiliary office. I am hoping to be able to locate a strong magnet-type pin, and I haven't a clue yet to cost. Okay, 3, lastly, is the dress down, which is the most common dress we will use. These will be T-shirts, hoodies, and polo shirts that you will be able to order in the color chosen by your state, and you have the Love Chapters Earth People Helping People banner on the back with the state logo on the upper left chest. These will be ordered by your state through Love Chapters USA. We have not done the promos on these yet, nor have we picked the choices of shirts and jackets to order from. This is in the works. Okay, and 4, the point we are making with so-called uniforms is branding uniformity only. Whether we are teaching an educational class at our chapter office or doing physical labor within the community or working in another community for cleanup or serving after disaster or like scenario. This would have been the case in Washington after the mudslide, in California after the fires, in South Dakota and Nebraska after the tornadoes, and in just this past week, Hawaii after the 2 back-to-back hurricanes. Sometimes we look like we belong to an office, we look good, and we smell good. And other times, we roll up our sleeves, get dirty, and don't necessarily look and smell good. But for certain, we are always teams that are part of a bigger team. We are People Helping People. We are Team Love Chapters Earth. So that concludes the uniform information that I want to bring forward. With that said, patches for both the South Dakota State and Washington State are in and available. My next topic is about the new Pod Magic System workbooks and tracking books. These will be running ledger tracking systems to keep your important Pod Magic System info in and to keep you organized, easy to follow the system and all your information at your fingertips. It is being worked on by myself, and this will be in a downloadable and printable format, kind of like a day planner style book. Inexpensive to print out on 3 whole ring binder paper and put in a ring binder. I will be yielding the floor to Tim. We were going to have a rearrangement with the timing, but I will yield the floor to Tim, who has another nugget of education in the community. Tim?
Yep, thank you, Trinity. And thanks, everybody, for who's on the call tonight. Some of this might be a little bit repeat, but one of the things that we realize the most is the education that is needed in this country. Education, especially for the community, for bringing the people together. Our education system today has not been much on community building and bringing forth that part of it and the family organization to help build and keep the family together. So there's a lot of things that we are in the working on. One of the things that we talked about last time was hopefully to roll out the deal for reading for kids and have a promotional deal for them, rewards for reading programs. The other things, there's just a ton of things that we have been discussing that we'd like to roll out. The education in what we call the 8 F's, which is your family, fun, finance, and some others. So there's just a lot of stuff. And one of the things tonight I wanted to discuss was what I'm working on right now is hydroponics. One of the concerns is that we won't have enough food for the future. But with hydroponics, the raising of a union of fish and plants together is really an exciting and just a fabulous thing. The food that is produced is just tremendous. We're talking about raising tomato plants, in the right environment, where a plant would last maybe 3 to 5 years producing tomatoes. So there's just a tremendous amount of education that can be done out there, and a lot of these can be done in a community type environment, brought together where the community builds these and cares for them and takes care of them, and then share in the harvest of this. Other than that, right now, I don't have anything else off the top of my head, so I'll turn it back to Trinity. And thank you.
Thank you, Tim. That was actually very good. And I heard you had lettuce leaves come up today.
My son had the first lettuce yesterday or last night off of it. And we've been eating a few beet greens. But the beans, some of them are getting to be quite about a foot tall.
Wow.
Tomato plants are blossoming. This has all been started way late, so we're kind of way behind the ball game in this program. But it's been quite an education process, and trying to keep the fish alive at the start and get this thing rolling. But it's starting to roll, and it's really kind of exciting. And I yield.
Well, I think it's absolutely incredible, and some of the other education that you have been doing is the structure of water, and hopefully you'll be able to talk a piece on that on our next call, because you've just been studying so much that I know we can't get it all in one call, so I'm putting a bug in your ear for next week. Okay.
I will do some talk on that next week then.
I would really appreciate it, and I appreciate that you bringing the piece about hydroponics and the aquaponics. Eco-dome growing would sort of be in that family. The earth homes is kind of in that family, so it's the study is very wide on that, and so I really appreciate Tim sharing that. I believe that I am going to yield the floor to Rick Hidalgo. He has an update on the booklets that he's been working on and how love grows, and he has a special piece on what a Ponzi scheme is. So I'm just going to turn the floor to Rick, and have at it, Rick.
Thank you, Trinity, and thank you, Tim. You guys are great. We should start calling Tim our Minister of Education, I think. That's basically what he is. We have a few things we wanted to talk about tonight, but first and foremost, I would like to get everybody to a place online where they can see what we probably should be, each of us, doing. Everybody who's involved in Love Chapters at any level, whether you have signed an agreement to be a state chapter or a country chapter, whatever level of agreement that you've come to, I would like to see everyone put something like this on their personal websites. If you would go to www.therockofsalem.org and hit, that's therockofsalem.org, and hit the House of Hidalgo show link on the top, you'll see that what I've done is I've put together a page specifically for my particular household and how in its support of Love Chapters Earth. This is called branding. The idea is to get this logo out there as many places as possible so that people start to associate this network and this organization with the great things that are going on, in the world, especially as we get going. If you notice, I have a lot of information there concerning the church, the bylaws, the agreement. All of it's there, just as it is on the law site at the lovechaptersearth.net site. So I would like everyone to take a look at that and check that out for sure. And on the bottom, the first subject you wanted to talk about, on the bottom of that page, there is a list. We call it the Love Chapters Earth Church Tool Shed. And it's basically a set of tools. There's an educational module, simple guide to understanding what Love Chapters are. Then there's a second module about Love Chapter Office's dynamics. And then a third is a team approach. There is a fourth in the works. I'm still working on it, unfortunately, because I got distracted. I came home Saturday to some papers that I wasn't expecting, so I'm having to go through some a different set of circumstances at the moment. But I will get that done as soon as I possibly can. Let's see. The next thing that we wanted to talk about was how love grows. And really, that's a perfect segment. And Tim Bueller's discussion about aquaponics and hydroponics really contributes to this idea of how love grows. Just like a plant grows in the right environment, our love chapters will grow also in the right environment. And that environment is a community of people, teams coming together, whether they're teams of 8 or 6 or 4, really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what level. It's just friends coming together and saying, okay, we're gonna change the world one team at a time, and to go out and to share the benefits of opening up a Love Chapter office with others. And that's really what it's all about. It was another, the main reason the main thing I wanted to talk about tonight was this, the main question that comes up whenever I talk to somebody about Love Chapters. The first thing I think out of most people's mouth is that a Ponzi scheme? Or is that a pyramid scheme? So I decided I was going to do a little investigation piece, okay, and I was going to take a look at what a Ponzi scheme and what a pyramid scheme really were by definition, and I was going to set them side to side with the Love Chapter model. What I came up with might surprise you, but then it might not. So I'm going to play that piece. I recorded myself doing it this afternoon, and one of the typical questions that people ask about Love Chapters Earth Church is it a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme? Well, in order to answer that question, first we have to ask ourselves, what is a pyramid scheme? What is a Ponzi scheme? And of course the answer is going to be only obtained through the study of the two schemes. So as quickly as we can, let's ask, what is a Ponzi scheme? Well, typically, the hook on the Ponzi scheme is earn high investment returns with little or no risk by simply handing over your money. Often the investment does not exist, or only a small percentage of income funds are actually invested. So you have a guy who's promoting a particular product or service of some type. He's bringing in great amounts of investment, and oftentimes he's actually only putting in a small percentage of those investments into the system itself. That is the typical hook of a Ponzi scheme. Let's talk about the payment system of a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme has there's no recruiting necessary to receive payments. So in other words, just as a participant in this particular system, like a gifting system or something like that, that's how you receive payments. There's no recruiting necessary to receive any kind of a payment in a Ponzi scheme. It's usually based on some kind of a business model that has a specific product or service that is advertised to be one thing and turns out to be another. A Ponzi scheme, the promoter generally interacts directly with all the participants. That's the interaction with the original promoter. So, the Ponzi scheme, in general, the flow of the investment or cash that's being, the new cash, new money that's being put into the system, goes directly to the director at all levels, okay, or directly to the promoter at all levels, because that's the essence of the Ponzi scheme, is that all the money flows to the top. How the scheme works. Well, a Ponzi scheme